Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem B'Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Noise in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. It says Trump's moves is applying pressure. Unrest will come. Women no more ease. As we know, since it is roughly the end of March. Trump has been in office since January 20th, so February, March, literally 2 months. 8 weeks, going on 9 weeks, right? And there's been nothing but confusion, anger, upriots, or civil unrest, rumors of wars, cuts to funding, all types of shit, man. And people are mad as hell because the reason why they voted for Trump is because they thought he was going to heal the economy. But it tells us in the book of Jeremiah, the 5th, I believe it's 50:9 or 51:9, that we would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Therefore, let us all forsake her and go everyone into his own land. This place is a lot worse off than what it was. And on top of that, you'd inherit mass inflation from the Biden administration, because the Biden administration totally put everything out of whack. And this current administration is doing even, I won't say worse, but they're basically snowballing the ball. They're basically picking up momentum from the last administration. Everybody was so in a hurry to get this guy Biden out of there, which you don't even hear from him no more, or Kamala. It's funny how these people go out of frame. Once they out of office, you don't hear about them anymore, even though they're still behind the scenes. But yet, everybody was so in a hurry to get this guy Biden out of there, because Biden was a fuck up, man. He brought in all the weird alphabet people, and he was basically pushing the Obama agenda. But then you got Donald Trump, and he's cutting all types of programs, man, to the point even a so-called stimulus checks that people were supposed to receive in the amount of $5,000. Allegedly, some people are going to be disqualified. I saw a video that was going into it, but I've yet to check it out. So Lord's will, after this video, I'll get some insight on it, and I may do a follow-up to it. But anyway, this is roughly a 10-minute video. I may not play all of it, but as we do, we interject as the Spirit permits. So we're going to get a couple of precepts, and we're going to take it from there, because what you're witnessing is a collapse. Okay, this is what you call a systematic collapse, when they're taking all the money and they're devaluing the currency, and they're taking away a lot of these federal programs like Section 8. Social Security is still intact, but a lot of these federal programs are getting ready to be cut. And people are getting ready to go without, man, because people live in what you call a grid functioning society, when they're depending on the government and they're depending on the conveniences of this current setup to get them by. So when they start to take things like child support and Social Security, food stamps, retirement, veterans benefits, just to name a few, people are going to start to feel the crunch, as we're all feeling it now. Okay, they're talking about the price of eggs. It's pretty much at an all-time high, and by the end of the year, eggs is going to go up another 40%. Like, who in their right fucking mind going to pay $20-something for a carton of eggs, man, when that's like the cheapest source of protein you can get on the planet Earth? Which is nothing but a foreshadowing for hyperinflation, because really that's hyperinflation. Okay, when you see eggs $10 a carton, that ain't nothing but inflation, man, or damn near hyperinflation. Which hyperinflation, a carton of eggs may run you $200. All right, so anyway, things are getting ready to get bad. They're already bad, but it's getting ready to go from bad to worse. All right, so here we go.
Their applications are on pause, and we already have 45,000 plus already homeless, and that number is about to skyrocket. Now, according to Carlos Van Natter, head of Section 8 in LA, he says keeping current recipients in their homes is the top priority. Totally get it. But he even says at this rate, that's at risk. And it gets worse before it gets better. If Congress doesn't approve funding by March 14th, the Housing Authority may have to cut existing vouchers as well. Translation, my friends, thousands of families could lose.
And there's going to be a blowback to these major investors, because even though, a lot of these so-called, what they call them, luxury living apartments, when they have the luxury stuff, the appliances, the stainless steel appliances, the so-called hardwood floors, all the amenities, they have basically it's like a commons area of a livable community, and they already set up for these 15-minute smart cities because they already come AI equipped. That's why they're building them up. But if you look on the door, usually they tell you if they accept low income or Section 8. And it's kind of bittersweet because even though, they raise rent so high to get Jake out of there, but even then, shit, that's the only how a lot of people can afford to keep those apartments running is through government subsidies, man, through vouchers. So if you got a person that's living in a $1,500 apartment a month, $1,500 a month apartment, and Section 8 is paying $1,300 of that, and the person is only making $200, but they can't meet rent, then they lose a lot of money. And this is why maybe 3 or 4 units may be subsidized, But overall, they getting ready to move a lot of you Jakes out of these places, man, because I'm noticing here in Kansas City as well, there's a lot of Jakes living in downtown Kansas City, Missouri, in these high-end lofts. And I'm like, ain't no way in hell this nigga works here on the Starbucks salary, or, he works at fucking Walmart and he lives downtown Kansas City in a damn penthouse. Mainly the women. And it's because they got all them kids and federal funding, but they're getting ready to cut all that shit.
Lose their homes overnight. This isn't just a housing issue, it's a breaking point for LA. Rent is among the highest in the country. We already have a crazy homeless problem, and the city just eliminated one of the last safety nets for low-income families, seniors, and disabled residents. So what now? Well, if you live in LA, I hope you're paying attention. You need to call your representatives, demand action, because if this crisis isn't addressed right now, we're going to be looking at a tidal wave of homelessness like we've never seen.
Hey guys, so the Housing Urban Development Hub is being cut off. They'll just seeking to cut funding from there. You know what that is? That applies to affordable housing for people with disability, low income. I'm in New York, so we have all these new buildings that they usually for low income people, so they could get a tax break. Section 8, city feds, all that getting cut. No, they're cutting our housing. They're cutting SNAP. They're cutting unemployment. They're cutting school. They want to uprise. They want martial law. You cut so many people from federal workers. You're cutting off just access to our money. You're allowing companies to charge any banking increase that they want. There's no oversighter. There's no inspector general to put these people on a leash. They want us to work for free. Did you notice Elon Musk made a comment about working 120 hours a week? Remember all those people that was happy about no tax on overtime? I ain't doing 120 hours a week. Fuck no.
And that's the thing, you people are going, man. While you people are cheering and jumping and screaming and biting, okay? Eating fucking ramen noodles, Pringles, Kit Kats for ice cream. You people are literally getting tightrope right back into captivity, man. Even though we're still slave, you people are going head first back in slavery. Who the hell in their right mind wants to work fucking 120 hours a week? Dude, that's 40, 80, bro. That's literally 3 weeks in 1 week, man. Ain't nobody working on 120 hours a week. You out your goddamn, I barely want to work 40 hours a week. And the average person needs to work 60, 70 hours a week just to make overtime. And anything got to 50 or 60 hours, they taxing that. That's straight tax. So, hey, you people are through, man. All right. And like the lady said, this is going to bring martial law. All right. So this is the book of Isaiah 14. And I'm going to start at verses. Isaiah 19. Salakia, man. Long day. But this is the book of Isaiah 19:1, and it says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt. Egypt is spiritually talking about America. Okay, when you go into the word Egypt, it goes into Mizraim, which means bondage. Okay, bitterness, bondage. It says, and the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst of it. And that's upon the Lord's return. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right, because there's going to be civil war among these people, among these peons. And it says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. This is describing a civil war, because these people are so stupid to the point they will kill each other for the one of all things, instead of going after the people that's putting them in this position. Because what we know about the elites, they're going to go underground, and they're going to allow you people to purge each other out while watching from underground. They're going to watch you people literally take each other's heads off, man. All right. And this is what we were saying. They're slowly taking away these programs from you. It's called gradualism, right? And it says here, and the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy all the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them. And that fierce king seems like it's DJ Trump, man. They called him Trump 2.0. Okay, and Trump don't give a shit, man. Hey, he's like the Port of Mall. He don't give a shit. You know? And Keisha is mad as hell that Kamala didn't get in office. But see, we say different tyrants, same outcome. Because at the end of the day, whether Kamala won or not, at the end of the day, there will be the same outcome. Martial law, civil unrest, and soon to be the MOTB, followed by the missiles. So this was going to happen regardless, man. And let's just say if Kamala got in there, I'm pretty sure it'd be a lot worse than what it is. We probably would already be in civil war right now if Kamala got in office. And that's just real talk. But it says, and the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord, and the Lord of hosts. And the water shall fell from sea, and the river should be dried and wasted up, man. And that's going into your vengeance, you know, your programs. All right, people getting ready to lose their benefits. Hey, shit, they told us straightforward. They was telling me 10 years ago, you know, when we enter the workforce, they like, look, y'all ain't gonna have no social security, y'all ain't gonna have no retirement, but yet we paying into that shit, man. And then if you take out early from your 401k, I believe they tax you like 10%. So you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. And you women, hey, embrace.
This is not the Hunger Game, honey. Okay, I have another news to report, but this is it for the day. Be safe, be sound, be kind.
The recent wave of federal layoffs have sparked some concerns over housing and homelessness for the region.
Alex Little-Hales joins us in the studio tonight with a new perspective on just how far reaching the federal workforce changes are.
Well, let's remember, just this month, the Trump administration stalled roughly $60 million in funding meant for affordable housing projects across the country. It's part of potentially major changes of the Department of Housing and Urban Development. But with new uncertainty comes concern about what that means for local communities.
But that's not affordable. All right, all these high-rise, all these new, like, luxury apartments, that shit ain't affordable, man. $2,000 a month is not affordable. Okay, and even then, if it was, why the hell would you want to pay that for a fucking place to stay? Especially if you don't own it. I remember back in the early 2000s, people was paying that for a mortgage, a 5-6 bedroom house, man. A mini mansion. Who the hell wants to pay that shit for a goddamn 650 square foot apartment? You know, with a balcony that barely even, you're right. You tripping.
Every year, millions of dollars in federal funding flows into Hampton Roads through grants from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, more commonly known as HUD. But amid mass layoffs at the federal level come questions about the future of that funding for those on the receiving end. Based on federal data, HUD accounts for more than $20 million of grant funding just for local governments in the 7 cities. Virginia Beach received the most at more than $6 million in 2024.
Well, we got the word from staff in the Richmond office
that they'd taken a 50% layoff.
Thaler McCormick is CEO of the education nonprofit 4Kids, which provides housing and educational stability for students in Hampton Roads. She tells 13 News Now they've already been briefed by staff at HUD's Richmond field office about potential layoffs, which McCormick says creates uncertainty for their funding structure.
4Kids will be profoundly impacted. We're almost $6 million of our budget is governmental, so that will have a big impact on us. And where it impacts is in emergency shelter, rapid rehousing, other housing programs that are pretty essential.
According to the Planning Council, HUD layoffs, quote, would greatly decrease the efficiency of carrying out many programs that HUD funds, plus concerns that HUD programs for the next fiscal year may either be reduced or not honored at all. So the organization...
And the fucked up part about it all is that you can't make it's like the working class is through. Working class don't qualify for HUD, you know what I'm saying? If you make a certain amount of, you make like close to $50,000 a year, which is technically poverty level. I mean, that ain't no money. I mean, if you could survive off that, then consider yourself blessed. But you have to live way below your means, because the average person need about $150,000, $200,000 to barely make it in this economy. But let's just say if you make $50,000 a year, which is barely making it at all, you can't qualify for HUD, man. But anybody that's making less than that, they could qualify for it. But then again, the rich people, they can afford their lifestyle. So the middle class is totally through, And the economy in the world have always functioned on the back of the middle class. Okay, you're literally the legs, or we're literally the legs that keeps the table afloat, that keeps the table up, man. In this game of Monopoly that the elites call. Job 20, and I'm going to start at verses 18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore. And this is talking about you elites, and shall not swallow it down. And according to his substance shall the restitution be, which restitute goes into restoring, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because he have violently taken away a house which he built not. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desired. And it says, and there shall none of his meat be left. Therefore shall no man take his goods. But in the fullness of his sufficiency, he should be in straits, which is positions of difficulties, and every hand of the wicked should come upon him. Because right now, we're seeing the world is rising up against Esau, to the point the small hats are losing a narrative. Okay, nobody trusts them anymore. Nobody's believing anything that this guy B.B. Mikowski says, and they're finding out that they ain't nothing but a bunch of damn devils, a bunch of racist, hateful devils that's harboring all the resources to themselves, man. And the world is getting fed up with Amalek. Therefore, they're getting ready to come up against his ass, man. All right. This is the book of Job 15. And I'm going to start at verses 15. And I'm going to start at verses 26. It says, he runneth upon him, even on his neck, and upon the thick bosses of his bucklers, because he covered his face with his fatness, and maketh cobblers of his fat on his flanks. And he dwelleth in desolate cities, and in houses which no man inhabited, which are ready to become heaps. But he shall not be rich, neither shall his substance continue, neither shall he prolong the perfection thereof in the earth, right? Because he's getting ready to be casted down. Okay, everything you're seeing from these defunding of these programs and the institution of this digital system is all set up for this new AI, this new world order. And it says he should not depart out of darkness, and the flame should drop his branches, which is the missiles, and by the breath of his mouth shall he go away. But let him not that is deceived trust in vanity, for vanity should be his recompense, and it should be accomplished before his time, and his branch should not be green. And he should shake off his unripe grape as the vine, and should cast off his flower as the olive. For the congregation of the hypocrites should be desolate, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of the bribery, man. All right. It says they conceive mischief, and they bring forth vanity, and they belly prepare deceit. And this is what we're seeing is happening on a huge scale. You see?
4Kids also cited that HUD assists with affordable housing in more than 170,000 units in the state of Virginia. I'm Alex Littlehales for 13 News Now.
Well, let's pick out some cans.
No salt.
Chris Richey and Carmen Carey are retirees struggling with the rising cost of groceries.
And the price of food has really gone high, you know. The
eggs.
But you won't find any prices here. The Manna Food Center Market in Silver Spring, Maryland, gives away everything on the shelves for free. Its director says the charity serves about 5,000 families a month.
We expect to see increasing demand. And right now we're tight as it is.
Inflation and unemployment have both risen since Donald Trump took office, despite his campaign promises of economic prosperity. Richey says he voted for Trump. He doesn't like the higher prices, but thinks they're temporary.
You know, you want America to get stronger, you know?
And this is the price that you think you have to pay for that?
Yeah.
Others are more worried.
And it makes it hard on people, especially people on disability or food stamps.
Eggs have seen the most price volatility, not only from inflation, but from a scarcity crisis due to the avian flu. Eggs in American grocery stores are averaging close to $5 a dozen, and they're spiking to almost $20 a dozen, which is a record high. And according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, their prices are expected to go up another 40% by year's end.
God damn. That's wild. $24 for some eggs. Shit. That's wild, man. That's crazy. That's why everybody invested in chickens right now. Shit. Hey, this is the book of Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Yeah, this proves the wicked is in power. All right, this man is literally destroying the damn earth, man. How the hell does eggs cost $20 a carton? Like, you gotta be out your you gotta be out your mind, man. Wow. But that's all good though, because you know, we said that this devil was gonna do. We called it, man. We told you people that this man is getting ready to come down with great wrath. This is part of it. You know, he's making us the hungry soul to fail, as it tells us in Sirach, the 4th chapter. All right. It says, my son, defraud not the poor of his living, and make not the needy eyes to wait long. Yeah. And that's what he's doing. He's defrauding everybody that they're living. To the point, you can't even afford to live anymore. You go to California, you got more homeless people out there than people that's actually living in homes. And make not the hungry soul sorrowful, neither provoke a man in his distress, man. And hey, this whole world is getting ready to rise up against him. His own people, he's even coming up against him. You know, but you people are going to be the result of judgment, because the world is coming up against you, devils. All right, they see how you're governing the earth, and they realize that you're not a fit ruler. You know? Revelation 6:5, and it says, when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld a lower black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. See that thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, going into inflation, famine. And when the famine sets in, that's when 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 is literally going to pop off the chain, man. All right, people are already in the spirit of insurrection right now, but once the food is taken away and destroyed, this is when people are going to go batshit crazy. All right, 2nd Esdras 15 and 16, for there should be seditions among men and invading one another, and they should not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their acts shall stand in their power. Yeah, because they're going to go up against their government officials, man. And if they can't find them, they're going to take it out on the nearest patriot, their neighbors, as we read in Isaiah the 19th chapter. All right, so I'm going to end it giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Hawashai. Lord's will, you were edified. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Then there's Trump's on-again, off-again tariffs against China, Mexico, Canada, and come April, possibly the rest of the world.
On the tariffs we have right now, you're talking anywhere from $500 to $1,000 per person in increased prices over the next year. The reality, though, is that we just don't know how long these tariffs will be in place.
All of that amounts to a lot of uncertainty. Experts say the U.S. economy is still relatively strong, but no one knows how long that will last. Heidi Jo Castro, Al Jazeera, Silver Spring, Maryland.
After eggs, beef faces an uncertain future in the U.S. Prices have been rising steadily in recent years with no signs of slowing down. Since January 2020, the average price of a pound of beef mince has surged by 45%, from $3.90 to $5.60, nearly doubling the rate of inflation. This price increase is driven by a combination of high consumer demand and a shrinking cattle herd, which is now smaller than it was a decade ago. Despite the challenges of tight domestic supply, beef imports have helped stabilize the prices. In 2023, the U.S. saw record high imports, including 4.6 billion pounds of beef and 2 million live cattle. However, the situation may soon worsen. And that's because U.S. President Donald Trump has proposed hefty new tariffs on agricultural imports, including beef. The tariffs set to take effect in April 2025 could disrupt the delicate balance of the U.S. beef market. While domestic ranchers might benefit from higher prices, the proposed tariffs could lead to instability in the supply chain. Many cattle are raised in Mexico, fattened in the U.S., and processed in Canada before being re-imported. A procedure that could be interrupted by these tariffs, these high tariffs, which is now being imposed under Donald Trump. While the potential for higher prices might seem like an opportunity for U.S. ranchers, experts warn it could harm the industry. With a smaller cattle herd, sudden price hikes could discourage ranchers from rebuilding their stocks. Meanwhile, consumer habits may shift as well, as higher beef prices will lead to people perhaps looking at other options than beef. Even if the tariffs are delayed or altered, the ongoing challenges in the beef supply chain are clear and prices are likely to remain.